Today I want to talk about how best to utilize your coach, how to work through big decisions, some of those topics. Last week we were talking about the struggle of life and how we need to understand how we show up. So it seemed like a natural extension today to tell you how to show up. What strategies can you take? I'm a huge believer in the fact that so many of us in life, we focus on the strategy, and what we fail to recognize is what last week's show was about, which is it's 80% psychology, right? You use any sort of sports metaphor, and granted their muscular stature and their physical abilities certainly play a role in it, but using golf as an example, I could get on the 18th green of the Masters, putting against Phil Mickelson as an example, and it could be a 20, 30 foot putt for $10 million, and there's no physical ability in that game, right? In that circumstance, in that example. The only difference is how am I going to handle the pressure of a $10 million putt? And Phil Mickelson gets the psychology of how to show up, and therefore is probably going to crush me. The key to life in my mind is it's 80% psychology, 20% the strategy. And yet, what do we all focus on when it comes time to handle some big thing? We all seem to focus on the strategy, and we're not even looking at how we show up. So that was the whole point of last week, is how do you show up in those circumstances? And so this week I want to talk about the 20%. The strategy, or at least a strategy to develop a strategy. What is the outcome you want? And this is the conversations you should be having with your coach. So if you're having a challenge in your life, in your business, I don't care what it is, you should be picking up the phone, calling your coach, your AMP coach, and asking questions about, hey, I got this going on, I got this, and this, and this, can you help me through it? Their job is to help you through it. Obviously, the more eyes you can have on any circumstance, the greater the odds of success and of achieving the outcomes you want. So to me, it's all about what outcome do you want? And then once you understand the outcome you want, how do you get the emotional leverage on yourself? The why. Because we all know the outcome we want, right? I want to make more money, I want to lose weight, I want to be an amazing husband, I want to be an amazing dad, la-ti-da. I'm not trying to minimize any of those because those are all true things that I want to do. But if I'm not really juiced about what it is I'm trying to accomplish and how I'm going to go about it in terms of my energy, my motivation could wane. And that's where I think a lot of people have challenges, is their motivation wanes. So what I tend to do, and how my coach coaches me, and how I hope we're coaching you, is I would take a piece of paper, draw it, lay it sideways, and I would first start with what is the outcome or result that you want. What's the purpose you're after for this? What is your why? So then the next and last area becomes the action. The way the brain works, reading left to right, I want to end over here with what is it I'm after? Why am I after this? So I have leverage on myself. So whatever the case is, if you draw this whole thing out and then you review this regularly, you have a better chance of success. If you really look at what I'm doing here, I say it's the 20% strategy that I'm doing, but really what I'm doing is I'm developing a strategy to control the 80% of psychology. I'm putting a plan in place to develop a strategy to help manage how I could get tired, how I could become discouraged, because now I'm reviewing my why and I'm looking at it going, man, I want to be there for my kid to graduate school. I want to be there for my kid to whatever it is. And that's a huge motivator for at least some people. And I think if you have that much clarity about that why and you're always reviewing it, really all I did was develop a strategy to give you clarity to keep you laser focused. I think if you're utilizing your coach correctly, you will do and have these sorts of conversations. And it doesn't matter who you are in the office. You could be someone working the front desk going, hey, the outcome I want is to see the schedule full and AR rocking. Those are two great outcomes. Those are two completely separate maps you need to draw. So what I would do is slow down, spend the time with your coach and allow them, ask them to challenge you to make sure that you're doing the right thing, that you're not causing collateral damage. Because let's assume that your outcome is, I just want the schedule full, the schedule full, the schedule full. Great, you'll fill the schedule and your AR will become a disaster. So you gotta have some balance. And I think that's where having a coach slow you down, like my coach, it'll really, really help you. I think if you take that advice and you use it wisely, you'll see great results. Got any questions? Call your coach, please. Otherwise, I'll see you 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Until then, have a wonderful week. Bye-bye for now. What if you could have the practice of your dreams? What's holding you back? Imagine a life where you have everything you ever wanted.